All right, welcome back. Well, we do have Andrew Saba. He's an NDDC. He's supposed to be a beneficiary of the scholarship with the NDDC, studying in Aberdeen, but he'll give us his narrative. They seem to be in dire straits. Well, let's hear from him directly. Andrew, good morning, and tell us now, what is going on? What is the status of your scholarship right now?
Hi, good morning, Chamberlain. It's kind of difficult to explain, really, because we've been here, some of us, since September, when we got the scholarship. And we are assured when we're coming that, we're going to be paid, our schools are going to be paid, and that, our upkeep would come. But it's been over 7 months and counting, and nothing really has happened. So, and with the whole COVID-19 situation, especially in the UK, the economy shutting down, movements restricted. I think we're actually in a very, very difficult position because it's difficult to stay in another country if you do not have money to take care of yourself.
Reached out to the relevant authorities, explaining to them what's going on. Did they tell you why they've not reached out and funded or paid so you can pay your fees?
Well, we've reached out severally. We've tried severally. I mean, this is an ongoing complaint, and quite frankly, I do not think that we have to, usually reach out to be paid a scholarship that was awarded since July last year. But so far, we've reached out. We've been, trying to tweet at the commission. We even sent a letter to the MD. And to be fair, just yesterday, I saw a tweet from the commission where the MD said that they were going to pay in due course, and that's a welcome development. But we've been hearing that we'll pay soon for just too long, and this is 8 months already. Over 7 months. I'm counting, and I think it's right. It's time, especially in this period, that we get things sorted out instead of keep repeating over and over and over saying we're going to pay soon and soon and soon. And so we really just want to appeal. I mean, many of us are in very terrible conditions. Some people have had to work in different places to get by. But now with companies shutting down, people who are on 0-hour contracts, I mean, they can't. If you don't work, you don't get paid. And of course, your landlords would not understand that. I mean, the people who sell food in the grocery shops would not understand that. So you actually just really need money to go on. And if we're in a situation where the town is, economy is shutting down, then it becomes really, really difficult for a scholar to survive, and that's not a situation you want to be in at all.
You tell us what the precarious situation exactly is, Andrew, but first of all, what kind of conversation were initiated with you when this whole scholarship award, began? What kind of engagement was given to you? Who is supposed to be talking to you? Who are you supposed to be speaking with? What modalities are you aware that was set out as to how this disbursement would be made to you? Was there any?
Yeah, there were. I mean, before this, so I'll just start from the beginning. We had this exam, computer-based test. And after the computer-based tests, some people were people who passed. We moved on to the next stage. We had a panel interview. And after the panel interview, people who passed the panel interview were called upon, to come for an award ceremony. So during the award ceremony, we actually briefed. We were told, we were given letters. We were told that once we get to our schools where we're going to study, all we needed to do was to open an account in the UK. Or wherever you qualify to go study, and send. We had an online portal where we would put all the information, your bank details, your contact details, and everything. We dropped our account detail because we're supposed to be paid some money for mobilization to get visas and flight tickets. But up until now, I can tell you, I mean, none of those have been paid. And some people actually took loans to fund their visas, to fund their trips to get to the UK. And so we were told that, once we left our account numbers, our Nigerian account numbers, all through the period, waiting for the mobilization money to be paid, for trips and everything. We left our account numbers with them. And then when we came to the UK, we, went on the portal and we logged on. But I think something that's even more worrying is, we would expect, I mean, from here, I mean, well, I mean, University of Aberdeen. And here in Aberdeen, we get all these messages once in a while, from your course coordinator, from your school, telling you about, oh, we know this COVID-19 situation is really difficult. We know it's difficult to be like this, but we're here to help. How are you doing? Don't be afraid to reach out if something's wrong. Just let us know, and we're here to help you. But in our case, we don't get any such information. There's no email to say, well, how are you guys even faring? That's not happening. So we're really just appealing. We actually, maybe we should not expect that or something, but we really just need to be paid. I think that's the most important thing right now.
Well, we are aware, I mean, you may also be aware that the NDDC at the, management level and all have been having some issues, so perhaps that could be a reason. But I don't think that should be. If there was any form of automation system to get these things done with or without a board in place, are you aware of any such automation system that should have made this happen automatically without you needing to talk to anyone?
Yes, true. I mean, to their credit, they've designed the portal, an online portal. So when you arrive at your school, you get your account open, we just go on the portal and fill in your information and all your details. So the NDDC already has our details. They know that we are in school. I mean, so they have our details already. So with that, you would expect that it would make the payment process a lot easier. And I do understand. I mean, I do sympathize with the situation that the NDDC is in. I mean, there've been a series of change in MDs who have been following up on the situations. But something that's also very critical as well is the fact that, I mean, I totally respect this new MD who has come in and hit the ground running, and I think that he's going to pay in due course. I mean, this we're just doing this just to bring attention to our plight. But the point is, when something like this happens, I've been following. I mean, they've been going around, monitoring contracts and abandoned projects. That's absolutely fine. That's important, right? But there's been no mention of the scholars, people who have been outside the country in a foreign land for over 7 months. And I do think that, especially in these times when our health is threatened, that in these times we should be a priority. Because, I mean, it gets to the point, I mean, I've been following the situation in Lagos, people are advising people to stay at home. Nobody's going to use those roads just right now. But these are human beings. We're people's children. I mean, we are people's children. We have siblings. We are humans. And I think it's only fair that if there are priorities to be addressed, I think we should be right on top of the list. And this has gone on for just too long. All
right. Andrew, how many of you are on this scholarship from the NDDC, and could you paint a picture of how precarious the situation is so that the authorities, some of whom may be watching right now, would really understand what you're going through?
Well, from my understanding, I think we're about 200 of us who were given the scholarship. And about the precariousness of the situation, what I would say is it differs for different people. Some people are from, maybe some people are from wealthier families, so they can get people to support them. But I can't talk about them because I don't know their situations exactly. But for myself, I can talk about myself and a few other people that I know. I'm actually a pharmacist, right? So before I left Nigeria, I was working to support myself, to support my siblings, to support my family. And, all of a sudden, I'm in a situation where I can hardly even take care of myself. So, and there are people like that who are even in, worse conditions, people who have jobs in places where if you don't come to work, you don't get paid. And what that means in this situation is with companies shutting down, especially all the stores that deal in non-essential commodities, lots of callers who work in places where they sell clothes, where they sell furnitures, where they sell, all the stores and places like that, in gyms, in places like that, they're closing down. I mean, they've been closed down by the government. Now, people who work in those places, especially people who have 0-hour contracts, don't get paid. And it means you live with your whatever you're paid for the last time you have worked. And what that means is with this lockdown in the UK going, I mean, would not know exactly when it's going to come to an end. It's looking like it's going to run for the time being. It means that these people do not have money to feed. It becomes difficult because there's no money, there's no new money coming in. And in that situation, you need money to feed, you need money to go on. So, in that situation, that's really, really difficult. And that's what many of us are actually facing. Not all of us have people who would send us money from Nigeria. And even if they do, how much does it amount to? I mean, with the current exchange rate. So some of us are just resigned to going through the motions, just finding a way to get on. But in this situation, even that way to get on, becomes our chances are kind of very limited at this point.
We hope that the new leadership will attend to those cases as quick as possible. Thank you for talking to us, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Andrew Saba there. Well, back in a moment here. Stay with us. All right, so just to bring you that information again, the NDDC have confirmed that there are 2 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria, one of which is in Lagos, and the other is in Osun. Both cases, the NCDC says that are travelers returning to Nigeria in the last 7 days. This brings the total confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria to 46. And you can see the figures there. Lagos has got 30, FCT has got 8, Osun has got 3. Ekiti, Oyo, Edo, Bauchi, and Osun states all have a case each. So we'll bring you more details as we do get them from the NCDC. Don't forget, wash your hands, most importantly, and maintain the social distancing, as you may have seen, and then keeping safe. It's the show today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
And I'm Ayo Makinde. Have a wonderful day.